So Beatriz Haddad Maia v Rebecca Sramkova. Match started. Maia held first game of the match, and it's 30-40 on this Rebecca Sramkova service game. So breakpoint Beatriz Haddad Maia. Rebecca Sramkova central serve bit on it, just out. So second serve for Rebecca Sramkova on this point. Rebecca Sramkova with a central serve. Beatriz Haddad Maia returns to right, and Rebecca Sramkova shots to the right bit on it. And Beatriz Haddad Maia returns, and Rebecca Sramkova strikes a backhand to the left with a bit on it, and it's a winner. So Rebecca Sramkova saving breakpoint. With a serve just out, so second serve for Rebecca Sramkova on this point. Returns, and Rebecca Sramkova strikes a forehand to the right, and it's a winner. So potentially a point for Rebecca Sramkova to maybe hold this service game. Rebecca Sramkova with a serve just out. So second serve for Rebecca Sramkova on this point. Rebecca Sramkova central serve on it. Beatriz Haddad Maia returns, Rebecca Sramkova backhand strikes right on it, and Beatriz Haddad Maia return just out. So Rebecca Sramkova holds serve rather. So on serve in the first set.
David, did you get lunch today?
Love. Beatriz Haddad Maia serving, 15 love. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a centre box serve. Rebecca Sramkova returns, and Beatriz Haddad Maia strikes a backhand to left building, and Rebecca Sramkova forehand to left. And Beatriz Haddad Maia then strikes a forehand to the left with a bit on it after that, and it's a winner. So 30 love. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a serve to the centre of the box, and Rebecca Sramkova returns to right, and Beatriz Haddad Maia backhand centre rather, and then Rebecca Sramkova strikes a forehand to the right out, so 40 love. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a centre wide serve, and then backhand slice serve from Rebecca Sramkova. Backhand slice rather from Beatriz Haddad Maia after a serve. Rebecca Sramkova returned to Beatriz Haddad Maia serve rather, and then Beatriz Haddad Maia with a slice shot with a bit on it and bent in the net, and then Rebecca Sramkova struck a forehand passing shot to the left, just hit the net. So on serve in the first set. So point playing, and Rebecca Sramkova shot to left with a bit on it. Beatriz Haddad Maia slides turn, shots left, and Rebecca Sramkova strikes a backhand to the left with a bit on it, and Beatriz Haddad Maia with return just hits the net. So 15-love after a backhand struck to the left with a bit on it from Rebecca Sramkova. Rebecca Sramkova with a central serve. Beatriz Haddad Maia have a backhand turn to central building, and Rebecca Sramkova forehand to right, and Beatriz Haddad Maia forehand to left. Rebecca Sramkova shot to left for a bit on it, and then 1 or 2 shots from the 2 players, and then Rebecca Sramkova with a backhand to centre just out after a shot with a bit on it from Beatriz Haddad Maia. So 15-all. Rebecca Sramkova with a wide serve just out. So second serve, Rebecca Sramkova on this point, on serve in the first set. 15-all. Rebecca Sramkova with a centre of the box serve, and then Beatriz Haddad Maia strikes a forehand, returns to left of Bill, and Rebecca Sramkova turns, and Beatriz Haddad Maia shots to right Bill, and Rebecca Sramkova turns, shots to left of Bill, and Beatriz Haddad Maia turns it. But then further forward, Rebecca Sramkova strikes forehand to left, and Beatriz Haddad Maia backhand turn, Sramkova forehand to left, and Beatriz Haddad Maia backhand slows turn, further forward, Rebecca Sramkova forehand to right, and then to the net. But then Beatriz Haddad Maia strikes a forehand passing shot to the left, to the right rather, and it's a winner with that left-handed forehand. So 15-30, forehand passing shot winner to the right with that left-handed forehand from Beatriz Haddad Maia. Beatriz Haddad Maia lefty, Rebecca Sramkova righty. 2 ball striking players. Rebecca Sramkova with a wide serve just out, so second serve for Rebecca Sramkova on this point. Rebecca Sramkova with a central serve, Beatriz Haddad Maia backhand turns left, and Rebecca Sramkova backhand to right, Bill on it. Beatriz Haddad Maia forehand to left, Bill on it. Rebecca Sramkova backhand to left, and Beatriz Haddad Maia strikes backhand to right, Bill on it. Rebecca Sramkova forehand struck to left for a bit on it, and Beatriz Haddad Maia with a backhand return to left just hits the net. So 30-all. So 30-all. Rebecca Sramkova with a centre of the box there, and Beatriz Haddad Maia strikes the backhand return to left for a bit on it, just out, so 40-30. Rebecca Sramkova with a serve, and Beatriz Haddad Maia turns, and Rebecca Sramkova strikes a backhand to left for a bit on it, and it's a winner. So 2-all on serve in the first set. Haddad Maia serving. Beatriz Haddad Maia central the box serve. Bit on it, but just out. So second serve, Beatriz Haddad Maia on this point. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a central box serve, and Rebecca Sramkova strikes one, turns right bit, and Beatriz Haddad Maia for one. Rebecca Sramkova then strikes one to right bit, and Beatriz Haddad Maia turns. And then at net, Rebecca Sramkova for one drive voice to right bit. Beatriz Haddad Maia turns, and Rebecca Sramkova strikes one to left. A bit on it, and Beatriz Haddad Maia returns. And then the next shot at the net from Rebecca Sramkova with a forehand drive volley to the right with a bit on it, and then Beatriz Haddad Maia with a forehand return out after that. So love 15. 2-all on serve in the first set. Beatriz Haddad Maia serving. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a wide serve on it. Rebecca Sramkova with backhand return just hits the net after a bit on the wide serve from Beatriz Haddad Maia. So 15-all. So Beatriz Haddad Maia with a central serve bit on it. Rebecca Sramkova backhand return just over net. And Beatriz Haddad Maia for 4 strikes, a backhand try bit on it, and Rebecca Sramkova returns. And Beatriz Haddad Maia with a volley shot to the left at the net, but then Rebecca Sramkova onto it with a passing shot struck to the right, and it's a winner. So 15-30. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a serve, wide serve just out. So second serve, Beatriz Haddad Maia on this point. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a serve, centre wide serve. Rebecca Sramkova returns right bit. Beatriz Haddad Maia for one serve. Rebecca Sramkova returns centre bit on it, and Beatriz Haddad Maia shot centre bit on it. Rebecca Sramkova forehand to left, and Beatriz Haddad Maia shot to the right, but just out. So 15-40 and 2 break points for Rebecca Sramkova. So 2 break points, Rebecca Sramkova, 15-40. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a serve. Wide serve on it. Rebecca Sramkova for one block turn to centre, and Beatriz Haddad Maia fair forward strikes forehand to the left, but just hits the net. And Rebecca Sramkova with a break in the first set. So Rebecca Sramkova serving. With a break in the first set. Rebecca Sramkova with a wide serve, and then Beatriz Haddad Maia with a backhand return to left out, so 15-love. Then the wide serve from Rebecca Sramkova. Rebecca Sramkova with a central of the box serve, Beatriz Haddad Maia turns Bennett, and Rebecca Sramkova shot, and Beatriz Haddad Maia strikes a forehand to left with a bit on it, and Rebecca Sramkova returns, and Beatriz Haddad Maia Bennett net. The forehand drive volley to the right, but just out. Forehand drive volley from just by the net, so 30-love. Rebecca Sramkova with a central serve, just hits the net, so second serve Rebecca Sramkova on this point. And Rebecca Sramkova with a centre to wide serve, Beatriz Haddad Maia returns, and Rebecca Sramkova strikes one to left with a bit on it, but then Beatriz Haddad Maia returns with a forehand with best on it, struck to the left, and it's a winner, so 30-15. Rebecca Sramkova with a centre of the box serve, Beatriz Haddad Maia returns right behind it. Rebecca Sramkova with a shot, and Beatriz Haddad Maia then strikes a forehand to the right with a bit on it, but just out, so 40-15. Rebecca Sramkova with a serve to the centre, just out, so second serve Rebecca Sramkova on this point. Rebecca Sramkova as Beatriz Haddad Maia turns a bit on it, and Rebecca Sramkova beforehand just hits the net, so 40-30 after a bit on the return from Beatriz Haddad Maia. Rebecca Sramkova with a serve wide, and then Beatriz Haddad Maia strikes right returns to right billet, and Rebecca Sramkova shots to right billet, Beatriz Haddad Maia turns, and Rebecca Sramkova shot, and Beatriz Haddad Maia with a backhand return to left, and then Rebecca Sramkova strikes a forehand to left with a bit on it, but just out. Rebecca Sramkova with a centre of the box there, Beatriz Haddad Maia backhand returns left behind it, and Rebecca Sramkova shot, and Beatriz Haddad Maia strikes a backhand to left with a bit on it, and then Rebecca Sramkova returns shot to the left just out after Beatriz Haddad Maia struck a backhand to the left with a bit on it, and it's break point for Beatriz Haddad Maia. Point playing. Beatriz Haddad Maia backhand to left, and then Rebecca Sramkova strikes one to left with a bit on it, and then Beatriz Haddad Maia returns with a forehand strike to left, and it's just out. So Rebecca Sramkova saves break point. Rebecca Sramkova with a serve to the centre, hits top of net, but then over net, but just out. So second Sramkova on this point. Rebecca Sramkova with a serve Rebecca Sramkova struck a forehand to left a bit on it, and then Beatriz Haddad Maia the forehand then after that just hit the net. So Rebecca Sramkova attempts to hold serve and maintain the break in the first set, having saved break point in this game. Rebecca Sramkova was Beatriz Haddad Maia forehand. Rebecca Sramkova was shot and Beatriz Haddad Maia and strikes one to left for a bit on it. Rebecca Sramkova returns the shot to the right with a bit on it, and Beatriz Haddad Maia then strikes a forehand to the left just out. So Rebecca Sramkova holds serve to maintain the break in the first set. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a centre of the box serve. Rebecca Sramkova returns and Beatriz Haddad Maia forehand to the right bit on it. Rebecca Sramkova returns and Beatriz Haddad Maia at the net with a forehand drop volley to the left, and it's a winner. So 15-love. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a serve to the centre of the bit on it, and then Rebecca Sramkova forehand block return just hits net after a bit on the central serve from Beatriz Haddad Maia. So 30-love. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a serve, wide serve a bit on that, and it's an ace. So 40-love. Maia, Beatriz Haddad centre box serve. Rebecca Sramkova returns, but the serve may be just out. So also on this point for Beatriz Haddad Maia. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a serve to just out. So 40-15. Beatriz Haddad Maia. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a serve a bit on it, and Rebecca Sramkova a bit on the ball, but a bit on the central serve from Beatriz Haddad Maia, and that service game is held for Beatriz Haddad Maia, but it's Rebecca Sramkova with the break in the first set. So Rebecca Sramkova serving with a break in the first set. Rebecca Sramkova with a central boxer, bitch side my backhand turn centre, Rebecca Sramkova forehand to left and bitch side my backhand turn, bit on it, and forehand, Beatriz Haddad Maia's forehand struck to the right, but bit on it, and then Rebecca Sramkova the forehand to the right after that just hits the net. So love 15, Beatriz Haddad Maia striking a forehand to the right with a bit on it. Rebecca Sramkova with a serve to centre, bit on it, bitch side my backhand return to left just over net, and Rebecca Sramkova further forward by net strikes forehand to the right, bitch side my turns, and Rebecca Sramkova forehand to left, and bitch side my turns shot centre, bit on it, and Rebecca Sramkova then strikes a forehand to the left with a bit on it, and it's a winner. So 15 all. So 15 all. Rebecca Sramkova serving and with a break in the first set. Rebecca Sramkova with a serve, wide serve just out. So second serve, Rebecca Sramkova on this point. Rebecca Sramkova with a centre box there, base side line strikes a backhand turn centre and forehand to forehand, and Rebecca Sramkova then strikes forehand to left with a bit on it, bitch side my backhand side turn so net, and then Rebecca Sramkova further forward with a forehand dry volley to the left from just by the net, and it's a winner. So 30-15. Rebecca Sramkova with a serve centre to wide, just hits the net. So second serve, Rebecca Sramkova on this point. Rebecca Sramkova with a wide serve just out. So 30 all. Rebecca Sramkova with a central serve just hits the net. So second serve for Rebecca Sramkova on this point. Rebecca Sramkova centre of the box serve just out. So 30-40 and a break point for Beatriz Haddad Maia. Rebecca Sramkova with a centre of the box serve, a bit on it, and then Beatriz Haddad Maia with a bit of forehand on ball, but a bit on that serve from Rebecca Sramkova, and Rebecca Sramkova saves break point. Rebecca Sramkova with a centre of the box serve, Beatriz Haddad Maia backhand turn centre, and Rebecca Sramkova strikes forehand to left, and Beatriz Haddad Maia backhand to right, and Rebecca Sramkova forehand to left, and Beatriz Haddad Maia then strikes a backhand, but just hits the net. So a point for Rebecca Sramkova to maybe potentially hold this service game and maybe maintain the break in the first set. Rebecca Sramkova with a serve, and Beatriz Haddad Maia then strikes a backhand return to the left, and it's a backhand return winner ace. A bit on that backhand return, struck to left from Beatriz Haddad Maia, and a backhand return winner ace. Rebecca Sramkova with a central box there. Beatriz Haddad Maia strikes a backhand turn centre build. Rebecca Sramkova shot. Backhand Beatriz Haddad Maia. Rebecca Sramkova forehand to left. And Beatriz Haddad Maia shot. Forehand to forehand. Bit after that. And then Rebecca Sramkova strikes a backhand to the left. It's a winner. So Rebecca Sramkova with a point to maybe potentially hold serve and maintain the break in the first set. Rebecca Sramkova with a serve essentially and then backhand to backhand. Rebecca Sramkova's backhand to left just hits the net after a bit on the backhand return from Beatriz Haddad Maia. Rebecca Sramkova with a central serve bit on it, and it's an ace. So a point for Rebecca Sramkova to potentially hold serve maybe and maintain the break in the first set. Rebecca Sramkova with a central serve bit on it, Beatriz Haddad Maia backhand return to the centre. And Rebecca Sramkova strikes forehand, but the serve may be just out. So another serve also for Rebecca Sramkova on this point. Rebecca Sramkova with a serve to the centre. Beatriz Haddad Maia strikes backhand return to left belting. Rebecca Sramkova with a shot. And Beatriz Haddad Maia shots from right belting. Rebecca Sramkova forehand return, forehand to forehand. Rebecca Sramkova her backhand to backhand drop shot to left a bit after that from Rebecca Sramkova, but just hits the net. So still in this Rebecca Sramkova service game. Rebecca Sramkova. Rebecca Sramkova with a centre to wide bit on it. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a backhand slice return just hits net after a bit on the serve from Rebecca Sramkova. So a point for Rebecca Sramkova to potentially hold serve and maintain the break in the first set. Rebecca Sramkova with a centre to wide serve out. The second serve Rebecca Sramkova on this point. And Rebecca Sramkova with a serve to the centre and then backhand to backhand. Beatriz Haddad Maia's backhand returner had a bit on it, and then Rebecca Sramkova with backhand after that just out. So still in this Rebecca Sramkova service game. Rebecca Sramkova with a central serve, Beatriz Haddad Maia turns a bit on it, but then Rebecca Sramkova after that with a bit on it, and it's a winner. So Sramkova to potentially hold serve and maybe maintain the break in the first set. Rebecca Sramkova with a centre to wide serve, just hits the net. So second serve, Rebecca Sramkova on this point. Rebecca Sramkova with a centre of the box there. Beatriz Haddad Maia strikes forehand, returns left from Rebecca Sramkova backhand to the left, and Beatriz Haddad Maia turns and further forward. Rebecca Sramkova strikes a forehand to the right, but just hits the net. So still in this Rebecca Sramkova service game. just over 9.5 minutes in this Rebecca Sramkova service game. Rebecca Sramkova with a central serve just hits the net. So second serve, Rebecca Sramkova on this point. Rebecca Sramkova with a serve to the centre box, Beatriz Haddad, backhand turn centre bit on it, and forehand Rebecca Sramkova, backhand right beyond Beatriz Haddad, Rebecca Sramkova forehand serve, but then Beatriz Haddad with a bit of an angle, backhand struck to the right, and it's a winner. So break point, Beatriz Haddad Maia. Rebecca Sramkova with a central serve, Beatriz Haddad Maia with a return a bit on it, and Rebecca Sramkova forehand just out. And it's on serve. And it's on serve in the first set. And quite the fan base of Maia. Ultras like for Beatriz Haddad Maia in this one. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a serve just hits the net. So second serve, Beatriz Haddad Maia on this point. So 4-all on serve in the first set. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a centre of the box serve, and then Rebecca Sramkova strikes a forehand return to the right just out. So 15-love. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a serve to the centre box bit on it, then Rebecca Sramkova forehand block return out after a bit on the serve from Beatriz Haddad Maia, so 30-love. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a serve a bit on it, but just out, so second serve, Beatriz Haddad Maia on this point. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a serve to the centre, and Rebecca Sramkova backhand turn centre, and Beatriz Haddad Maia strikes forehand to the right, but out, so 30-15. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a serve. Building it, Rebecca Sramkova block turn. Beatriz Haddad Maia then strikes a forehand to the right. Building it, Rebecca Sramkova with a return shot to the centre just out after a bit on the forehand struck from Beatriz Haddad Maia. So 40-15. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a central box bit on it, but just out. So second serve, Beatriz Haddad Maia on this point. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a serve, wide serve, with a bit on it, and it's an ace. So Beatriz Haddad Maia holds that service game, so on serve in the first set. Bit of kick and maybe slice on that serve as well. hit quite a spot on that wide serve with that ace on that last point. Beatriz Haddad Maia. So Rebecca Sramkova serving on serve in first set. Rebecca Sramkova central serve. Beatriz Haddad Maia turns. Rebecca Sramkova forehand to right. Beatriz Haddad Maia back on serve. Rebecca Sramkova forehand to right. Be on it. Beatriz Haddad Maia returns. And then Rebecca Sramkova beforehand to the right out. So love 15. So point just played. 15-all. Rebecca Sramkova won a point. So 15-all. Rebecca Sramkova with a central serve just out. So second serve, Rebecca Sramkova on this point. Rebecca Sramkova with a central serve, a bit on it, and Beatriz Haddad Maia with a bit of forehand on it, but a bit on the serve from Rebecca Sramkova. So 30-15. Rebecca Sramkova with a central serve, hits the top of net a bit, over and in. So another 1 to 2 serves also on this point for Rebecca Sramkova. Rebecca Sramkova with a centre of the box there, but hits top of net and over and in. So another 1 to 2 serves still on this point for Rebecca Sramkova. Rebecca Sramkova with a so Rebecca Sramkova just held serve, so 5-all on serve in the first set. So Beatriz Haddad Maia serving, 5-all on serve in the first set. Beatriz Haddad Maia serve on it. Rebecca Sramkova returns and Beatriz Haddad Maia shot. Rebecca Sramkova returns after a shot or so from the two players. Rebecca Sramkova shots to the right with a bit on it just out, so 15 love. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a centre of a box serve with a bit on it, and then Rebecca Sramkova strikes and returns to the centre just out. So 30 love. Beatriz Haddad Maia, so 40 love. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a central serve just out, so second serve Beatriz Haddad Maia on this point. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a central serve. Rebecca Sramkova forehand returns centre bill net. Beatriz Haddad Maia turns for Rebecca Sramkova forehand to left and into the net. Bit on the forehand from Rebecca Sramkova and then to net, but then Beatriz Haddad Maia the forehand return. And then Rebecca Sramkova a bit of a backhand volley, but a bit on the forehand return from Beatriz Haddad Maia. And Beatriz Haddad Maia holds serve. And on the serve in the first set. So Rebecca Sramkova serving on the first set. Rebecca Sramkova with a serve to the centre. Beatriz Haddad Maia forehand return just hits the net. Bit on the serve from Rebecca Sramkova, so 15 love. Rebecca Sramkova with a serve centrally bit on it. Beatriz Haddad Maia backhand return just out after a bit on the serve from Rebecca Sramkova, so 30 love. Rebecca Sramkova with a point. Rebecca Sramkova just won a point, so 40 love. Rebecca Sramkova with a central serve. Beatriz Haddad Maia backhand return to right bit on it, and Rebecca Sramkova then with a forehand to left just hits the net, so 40-15. So Rebecca Sramkova with a central box serve, hits top of the net a bit, so let serve. Another 1-2 serves also on this point then for Rebecca Sramkova, and Rebecca Sramkova with a central serve on it. Beatriz Haddad Maia forehand turn centre then. Rebecca Sramkova further forward, strikes a forehand to the right, and it's a winner. So first set tie break after a first set on serve and a mount. So tie break for the first set of this one. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a serve wide, bit on it, and then Rebecca Sramkova forehand return to the right, just hits the net after a bit on that wide serve from Beatriz Haddad Maia in the first point of the tie break in the first set. Rebecca Sramkova with a serve. And Beatriz Haddad Maia strikes return to the left, just out. So 1-1 in the tie break in the first set. Rebecca Sramkova with a central serve, bit on it, and it's an ace. So 2-1 Rebecca Sramkova in the tie break. Beatriz Haddad Maia serving the next 2 points. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a serve to the centre, a bit on it. Rebecca Sramkova returns to Beatriz Haddad Maia shot. Rebecca Sramkova backhand to the right, bit on it. Beatriz Haddad Maia for one to the left, but then Rebecca Sramkova strikes a backhand to the left after that with a bit on it, and it's a winner. So 3-1 Rebecca Sramkova in the tie break in the first set. Beatriz Haddad Maia serving the next 2 points, but Rebecca Sramkova serving the next 2 points after that. So Beatriz Haddad Maia with a serve to the centre of a bit on it, just out. So second serve for Beatriz. So Beatriz Haddad Maia with a central serve, bit on it, and backhand to backhand, and Rebecca Sramkova forehand to the right, just hits the net. So 3-2 Rebecca Sramkova in the tie break, and Rebecca Sramkova serving the next 2 points. Rebecca Sramkova with a wide serve, just out. So second serve, Rebecca Sramkova on this point. Rebecca Sramkova with a central serve, backhand return to the left with a bit on it, but just out. So 4-2 Rebecca Sramkova in the tie break and serving the next point. Rebecca Sramkova with a short angle wide serve, just out. So second serve, Rebecca Sramkova on this point. Rebecca Sramkova with a centre of the box serve, Beatriz Haddad Maia strikes a forehand return with a bit on it, and then Rebecca Sramkova with a backhand just hits the net. So 4-3 Rebecca Sramkova in the tie break, but Beatriz Haddad Maia serving the next 2 points. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a serve, wide serve, bit on that, and Rebecca Sramkova a bit of backhand on ball, but a bit on the wide serve from Beatriz Haddad Maia. So 4-4 in the tie break in the first set. So Beatriz Haddad Maia with a central serve, bit on it, and it's an ace. Rebecca Sramkova, centre box there, Beatriz Haddad Maia turns. Rebecca Sramkova further forward, backhand to right, Beatriz Haddad Maia turns. Then Rebecca Sramkova shot, Beatriz Haddad Maia, forehand to the left, and Rebecca Sramkova forehand to right, Beatriz Haddad Maia turns. Then Rebecca Sramkova strikes forehand to right, beyond it, Beatriz Haddad Maia backhand slice turns to the right. And Rebecca Sramkova shot, and Beatriz Haddad Maia strikes forehand to the right, beyond it, Rebecca Sramkova returns, and Haddad Maia forehand, Sramkova backhand. And then a bit after that, after 2 shots or so from the 2 players, backhand Beatriz Haddad Maia to centre, then forehand to the left from Rebecca Sramkova, forehand to the left from Beatriz Haddad Maia, and then Rebecca Sramkova with a forehand to the right, and then Beatriz Haddad Maia with a backhand slice return to the left just out. So 5-all in the tie break in this first set. Goal. 5-all in the tie break in the first set. Rebecca Sramkova at this point. Rebecca Sramkova, centre of the box, Leon, Beatriz Haddad Maia, backhand turn centre. And Rebecca Sramkova, forehand to right, Beatriz Haddad Maia, backhand. Rebecca Sramkova shot, Beatriz Haddad Maia, forehand. But then Rebecca Sramkova strikes a backhand to the right with a bit on it, and a winner with it. And it's 6-5, Rebecca Sramkova. Beatriz Haddad Maia serving the next point, but it is set point for Rebecca Sramkova. With a central serve just out. So second serve, Beatriz Haddad Maia on this point. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a serve. Hits top of net a bit and over net and in. So let's serve. So another serve or so for Beatriz Haddad Maia on this point. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a serve to the centre of the box. Hits top of net a bit over net and in. So let second serve. So another serve or so for Beatriz Haddad Maia on this point. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a centre of the box serve. Rebecca Sramkova strikes a backhand return a bit on it to the left, but just out. So 6-all in the tie break in the first set. Beatriz Haddad Maia saves set point and is serving the next point. And quite the ultras and the fan base of Beatriz Haddad Maia for this match. So 6-all in the tie break. Beatriz Haddad Maia serving this next point. So Beatriz Haddad Maia with a serve, wide serve. Rebecca Sramkova forehand turn, Beatriz Haddad Maia backhand bit on its centre. Rebecca Sramkova with a shot, and backhand Beatriz Haddad Maia, and backhand bit on it from Rebecca Sramkova, backhand to backhand. Rebecca Sramkova fair forward strikes, forehand to left bit on it. Beatriz Haddad Maia returns, and forehand serve from Rebecca Sramkova. Then an angle backhand to right from Beatriz Haddad Maia after that out. So set point for Rebecca Sramkova. And serving this next point, Rebecca Sramkova. And with set point. Sramkova with a serve just out. So second serve, Rebecca Sramkova on this point. Rebecca Sramkova. Rebecca Sramkova with a centre of the box serve, and Beatriz Haddad Maia strikes forehand to right bit on it. And Rebecca Sramkova returns, but then further forward, Beatriz Haddad Maia strikes a forehand to the right, and it's a winner to save that set point. So still in the tie break in the first set. Rebecca Sramkova with a central serve, just hits the net. So second serve, Rebecca Sramkova on this point. And Rebecca Sramkova with a central box serve, just out. 8-7. Beatriz Haddad Maia in the tie break in this first set, and Beatriz Haddad Maia serving this next point. So Beatriz Haddad Maia with a central serve just out. So second serve for Beatriz Haddad Maia on this point. Beatriz Haddad Maia. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a serve. Hits the top of the net a bit and in. So let second serve. So another serve also for Beatriz Haddad Maia on this point. So Beatriz Haddad Maia with a serve to the centre box. Rebecca Sramkova backhand turn. Beatriz Haddad Maia and strikes one to the right. Rebecca Sramkova for one to right. Beatriz Haddad Maia for one. Then Rebecca Sramkova forehand struck to the right with a bit on it, but it's just out. And it's game of first set. Beatriz Haddad Maia 7-6. Beatriz Haddad Maia with the first set in the tie break. And in a competitive first set of these two ball striking players, of the lefty of Beatriz Haddad Maia and the righty of Rebecca Sramkova, it's Beatriz Haddad Maia with the first set in a tie break. So Rebecca Sramkova serving at the start of the second set of this serve out. So second serve, Rebecca Sramkova. Centre the box there, Beatriz Haddad Maia strikes a backhand return serve. Rebecca Sramkova shot. And Beatriz Haddad Maia strikes one to left, just hits the net. So 15-love. Beatriz Haddad Maia, Rebecca Sramkova rather of serve, and Beatriz Haddad Maia strikes one, return with a bit on it, and then Rebecca Sramkova forehand to the right, just after that, just hits net, so 15-0. After a bit on the forehand return struck from Beatriz Haddad Maia. Rebecca Sramkova with a central box serve in. Beatriz Haddad Maia strikes a shot to left for a bit on it, and then Rebecca Sramkova strikes a forehand to left for a bit on that, and it's a winner. So 30-15. So Rebecca Beatriz Haddad Maia backhand turn to the right, then Rebecca Sramkova backhand to the right. Beatriz Haddad Maia turns to Rebecca Sramkova and forehand to right. Beatriz Haddad Maia backhand turns to left. Rebecca Sramkova forehand to left. Beatriz Haddad Maia forehand to left. Rebecca Sramkova forehand to the right, and Beatriz Haddad Maia with a backhand slice turn. And then Rebecca Sramkova with a shot to the right just after that. So 30-all. Rebecca's first game of the second set. Rebecca Sramkova central serve just out, so second serve for Rebecca Sramkova on the point. Rebecca Sramkova with a central box serve, a bit on it, and Beatriz Haddad Maia a bit of forehand to it, but a bit on the central serve from central box serve from Rebecca Sramkova, so 40-30. Rebecca Sramkova with a serve, maybe a let serve, another 1 to 2 serves or so for Rebecca Sramkova. Rebecca Sramkova with a centre box serve on it. That's first serve. That serve just out, and that's first serve. So this is second serve for Rebecca Sramkova on this point. So another serve also. Rebecca Sramkova with a full serve, and then a bit on it, and Beatriz Haddad Maia strikes a backhand return, just hits the net. So Rebecca Sramkova holds serve in the first game of the second set. Beatriz Haddad so 15-love point line, and Rebecca Sramkova wins a point, striking a forehand winner to the left further forward, and then a winner with it. So 15-all. Beatriz Haddad Maia serving, start of the second set. Rebecca Sramkova held serve. First game of this second set. Beatriz Haddad Maia with serve to be on it. Rebecca Sramkova back. And Maia forward strikes right to left and then to the net. But Rebecca Sramkova strikes a backhand passing shot to and passing shot winner struck to the left from Rebecca Sramkova, so 15-30. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a serve, centre to wide serve just out, so second serve Beatriz Haddad Maia. Serve just out, so second serve on this point. So another. Beatriz Haddad Maia just won a point, so 30 all. Beatriz Haddad Maia by the net of a forehand slice shot with a bit on it and a winner with it. So 30 all. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a wide serve with a bit on it, and Rebecca Sramkova's forehand return to the right out after a bit on the wide serve from Beatriz Haddad Maia. So 40-30. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a central serve on it, then Rebecca Sramkova forehand returns to left on it, Beatriz Haddad Maia returns it, then Rebecca Sramkova further forward strikes a forehand to the right, and it's a winner. So still in this Beatriz Haddad Maia service game. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a wide serve on it, and forehand return Rebecca Sramkova, then Beatriz Haddad Maia strikes forehand to left with a bit on it, but just out, and a break point for Rebecca Sramkova. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a wide serve with a bit on it. Rebecca Sramkova returns Beatriz Haddad Maia strikes forehand to the right. Then Rebecca Sramkova forehand to the left. Beatriz Haddad Maia returns and backhand slice to the left. A bit on it from Rebecca Sramkova. Backhand slice, backhand slice. Rebecca Sramkova forehand to the right. And Beatriz Haddad Maia strikes forehand to the right with a bit on it. And Rebecca Sramkova with a forehand return just hits the net after a bit on the forehand struck to the right from Beatriz Haddad Maia to save that break point. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a centre of the box there, Rebecca Sramkova backhand turns right, and Beatriz Haddad Maia further forward strikes a forehand to the left, just out. So break point Rebecca Sramkova. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a central serve behind Rebecca Sramkova turns to Beatriz Haddad Maia strikes one to left behind it, and Rebecca Sramkova backhand to right, and Beatriz Haddad Maia strikes a forehand to the right, but just out, and Rebecca Sramkova with a break in the second set. Rebecca Sramkova serving. Central serve, Beatriz Haddad Maia strikes one, return bill on it, forehand to right, and Beatriz Haddad Maia forehand to left bill on it. Then Rebecca Sramkova then strikes a backhand to the left after that, just hits the net. So love 15 after a bit on the forehand to the left from Beatriz Haddad Maia. Rebecca Sramkova serving with a break in the second set. Rebecca Sramkova, central serve, Beatriz Haddad Maia forehand, and then Rebecca Sramkova forehand, Beatriz Haddad Maia turns in a bit after that. Rebecca Sramkova further forward with a forehand to the right, but just out, so love 30. Rebecca Sramkova with a central serve, just hits the net, so second serve Rebecca Sramkova on this point. Rebecca Sramkova with a central box, and Beatriz Haddad Maia strikes from return, bit on it, forehand to forehand. And Rebecca Sramkova's forehand to the right is struck with a bit on it, and then Beatriz Haddad Maia a bit of forehand to ball, but a bit on the forehand struck to the right from Rebecca Sramkova, so 15-30. Rebecca Sramkova with a central serve on it, Beatriz Haddad Maia backhand block turn for forward. Rebecca Sramkova then strikes the forehand to the right, just out, so 15-40 and 2 break points for Beatriz Haddad Maia. Rebecca Sramkova with a serve out, so second serve Rebecca Sramkova on this point. Rebecca Sramkova with a centre wide serve. Beatriz Haddad Maia strikes a backhand return to the right with a bit on it, but just out, so 30-40. Rebecca Sramkova with a wide serve just out, so second serve Rebecca Sramkova on this point. Rebecca Sramkova, the centre box, and Beatriz Haddad Maia strikes forehand, returns to the right, bit on it. Rebecca Sramkova returns to the centre, but just out after a bit on the forehand, struck to the right on the return from Beatriz Haddad Maia, and Beatriz Haddad Maia have a break on return of serve, so on serve in the second set. So Beatriz Haddad Maia serving, on serve in the second set. Beatriz Haddad Maia, centre of the box serve, just out, so second serve Beatriz Haddad Maia on this point. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a centre of the box serve, and then forehand return struck right from Rebecca Sramkova. Beatriz Haddad Maia turns Rebecca Sramkova, strike shot Beatriz Haddad Maia forehand, Rebecca Sramkova backhand to the left with a bit on it, and Beatriz Haddad Maia then with forehand to the right just hits the net, so love 15. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a central serve, Rebecca Sramkova returns, and then Beatriz Haddad Maia with a forehand out, so love 30. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a wide serve just out. So second serve, Beatriz Haddad Maia on this point. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a central serve, and then forehand return shot set from Rebecca Sramkova, and Beatriz Haddad Maia strikes one to the left with a bit on it just out. So love 40 and 3 break points for Rebecca Sramkova. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a centre to wide serve just out. So second serve for Beatriz Haddad Maia on this point. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a serve. Essentially, Rebecca Sramkova backhand returns there. Beatriz Haddad Maia forehand to right. Rebecca Sramkova returns, and Beatriz Haddad Maia backhand centre. Rebecca Sramkova shot. Beatriz Haddad Maia strikes a forehand to the right with a bit on it. Then Rebecca Sramkova with a backhand return to the left just hits the net. So 15-40. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a centre of the box serve just out. So second serve, Beatriz Haddad Maia on this point. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a centre box serve, Rebecca Sramkova forehand return just hits the net after a bit on the serve from Beatriz Haddad Maia. So 30-40. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a centre of the box serve, and then forehand return struck to the left angle from Rebecca Sramkova just out. So break point saved for Beatriz Haddad Maia. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a serve, and Rebecca Sramkova returns centre, and Beatriz Haddad Maia further forward strikes a forehand to the left, and it's a winner. So having saved break points on this service game, potentially a point for Beatriz Haddad Maia to maybe hold serve and still have this second set on serve. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a centre to wide serve just out. So second serve for Beatriz Haddad Maia on this point. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a serve to the centre box. Rebecca Sramkova backhand drop shot return to the left, and it's in. It's a return winner ace from a backhand drop shot to the left from Rebecca Sramkova. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a wide serve, a bit on it, then Rebecca Sramkova a bit of forehand on it, but a bit on the wide serve from Beatriz Haddad Maia. So a point for Beatriz Haddad Maia to potentially hold this service game instead of the second set on serve, maybe, potentially. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a serve to the centre out. That's a second serve, so still needs Beatriz Haddad Maia service game. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a central serve, bit out, so second serve, Beatriz Haddad Maia on this point. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a serve. Beatriz Haddad Maia with serve. Rebecca Sramkova returns a bit after that. Beatriz Haddad Maia strikes a backhand to the left. It's net and over net and in for potentially a point for Beatriz Haddad Maia to hold the service game and serve a second set on serve, maybe, potentially. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a serve, wide serve, bit on it, just out. Bit of slice on it, but just out. So second serve for Beatriz Haddad Maia on this point. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a serve, essentially a bit on it. Rebecca Sramkova returns, but then Beatriz Haddad Maia at the net with a forehand volley to the left, and it's a winner. So Beatriz Haddad Maia holds that service game. So 2-2 on serve in the second set. Serve and volley point from Beatriz Haddad Maia on the last point of that service game. Central serve a bit on it. Rebecca Sramkova return, but then Beatriz Haddad Maia at the net with a forehand volley to the left and a winner. Rebecca Sramkova serving and just won a point, so 15-love. Rebecca Sramkova with a wide serve, bit on it, but just out. So second serve, Rebecca Sramkova. Rebecca Sramkova with a centre of the box serve, and then Beatriz Haddad Maia strikes a forehand return to left with a bit on it, and it's a forehand return winner ace, so 15-all. Rebecca Sramkova with a serve to the centre just out, so second serve for Rebecca Sramkova on this point. Rebecca Sramkova with a centre wide serve, and Beatriz Haddad Maia strikes a backhand return to the right with a bit on it, and it's a return winner ace. Two return winner aces, and the last 2 points are Beatriz Haddad Maia. One with forehand to the left and one with a backhand to the right. So 15-30. Rebecca Sramkova, centre box there, bit on it. Beatriz Haddad Maia, forehand return centre. Rebecca Sramkova strikes one to the left, a bit on it. Then Beatriz Haddad Maia, forehand return, just out. After a bit on the forehand, struck to the left from Rebecca Sramkova, so 30-all. Rebecca Sramkova with a centre box there, Beatriz Haddad Maia, backhand return, backhand to backhand. But Rebecca Sramkova's backhand to the right is just out, and it's 30-40 and break point for Beatriz Haddad Maia. Rebecca Sramkova with a central serve on it. Beatriz Haddad Maia backhand turn, so Rebecca Sramkova forward strikes one to right on it. And then Rebecca Sramkova at net as Beatriz Haddad Maia with a backhand return, and then Rebecca Sramkova with a half volley shot at the net to the left, and it's a winner to save break point. Backhand half volley shot and a winner to save that break point for Rebecca Sramkova. Rebecca Sramkova centre box there, and then backhand to backhand, and backhand shots are a bit on them, but it's Rebecca Sramkova's backhand that's just out, so break point for Beatriz Haddad Maia. Having held serve in Rebecca Sramkova serve, and Beatriz Haddad Maia return with a bit on it, and then Rebecca Sramkova with a shot to the left just out after a return bit on it from Beatriz Haddad Maia. And Beatriz Haddad Maia with the break in the second set. So Beatriz Haddad Maia serving with a break in the second set, but Rebecca Sramkova just won a point, so love 15. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a serve to the central bit on it. Rebecca Sramkova for on block return to the right out after a bit on the central serve from Beatriz Haddad Maia, so 15-all. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a wide serve, just hits the net, so second serve for Beatriz Haddad Maia on this point. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a serve to the centre of the box, and Rebecca Sramkova strikes a forehand return, so 30-15. So point playing, Beatriz Haddad Maia with a backhand strikes the right bit on it, and Rebecca Sramkova strikes forehand to the right with a bit on it, but just out, so 40-15. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a centre to wide serve, hits the top of net and in after just over net, so 1-2 serves also at this point for Beatriz Haddad Maia. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a central serve on it, and Rebecca Sramkova backhand return out after a bit on the central serve from Beatriz Haddad Maia. Beatriz Haddad Maia holds serve to maintain the break in the second set. Rebecca Sramkova serving, just 1 point, 15 up. Rebecca Sramkova central of the box serve. Beatriz Haddad Maia strikes forehand to the left with a bit on it. Rebecca Sramkova turns and Beatriz Haddad Maia fair forward strikes a forehand to the right. Then with a bit on it, and then Rebecca Sramkova return out after a bit on forehand, struck to the left and Beatriz Haddad Maia. 15-all. Rebecca Sramkova with a central serve, just hits the net, so second serve Rebecca Sramkova on this point. Rebecca Sramkova with a central serve, Beatriz Haddad Maia, forehand return straight bit on it. Rebecca Sramkova forehand to left, Beatriz Haddad Maia backhand to the right, and Rebecca Sramkova forehand, it's top net over net. Forehand Beatriz Haddad Maia serve, Rebecca Sramkova backhand to right, Beatriz Haddad Maia forehand, and Rebecca Sramkova then strikes a backhand to the right, and it's a winner, so 30-15. Rebecca Sramkova with a centre of the box serve, hits the top of the net a bit over and in, so let serve. So 1-2 serves or so for Rebecca Sramkova on this point, and Rebecca Sramkova with a serve to the centre of Beatriz Haddad Maia, back onto the centre of Rebecca Sramkova, fair forward strikes one to right, Beatriz Haddad Maia forehand slice turn to the right, and Rebecca Sramkova forehand to left, Beatriz Haddad Maia backhand slice turn, forehand angle to the left from Rebecca Sramkova, Beatriz Haddad Maia turns, and Rebecca Sramkova then with a backhand slice to the right, a bit on it, and it's a winner. So 40-15. Rebecca Sramkova just won a point to hold serve, but it's Beatriz Haddad Maia with the break in the second set. So Beatriz Haddad Maia serving with a break in the second set. Beatriz Haddad Maia was served just out, so second serve Beatriz Haddad Maia on this point. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a serve to the centre box, and then Rebecca Sramkova strikes a forehand return to left for a bit on it, but just out. So 15 love. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a central serve building. Rebecca Sramkova returns, and Beatriz Haddad Maia strikes forehand to the right building, and Rebecca Sramkova backhand to left, and Beatriz Haddad Maia forehand to the right. And Rebecca Sramkova backhand strikes right building. Beatriz Haddad Maia turns and further forward. Rebecca Sramkova then strikes a forehand to the right, and it's a winner. So 15-all. Beatriz Haddad Maia. So second serve for Beatriz Haddad Maia on this point. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a serve to the centre. Rebecca Sramkova forehand return. Beatriz Haddad Maia forehand centre. Rebecca Sramkova returns, and Beatriz Haddad Maia forehand to the right. And Rebecca Sramkova returns, and Beatriz Haddad Maia strikes a forehand after a bit on it, but just out. So 15. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a serve on it. Rebecca Sramkova returns in. Beatriz Haddad Maia, forehand drive up to the right from just at the net, but then Rebecca Sramkova with backhand returning. Beatriz Haddad Maia with backhand after that out. So 15-40 and 2 break points for Rebecca Sramkova. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a wide serve on it. Rebecca Sramkova returns to Beatriz Haddad Maia further forward with an overhead smash by the net to the right, a bit on it, and it's a winner. So 30-40. So 30-40. Beatriz Haddad serve. Wide serve on it. Rebecca Sramkova backhand slice return just hits the net after a bit on the wide serve, and Beatriz Haddad Maia. So break point saved for Beatriz Haddad Maia after a bit on the wide serve on that last point. Beatriz Haddad Maia just won a point, a central serve, a bit on it. Rebecca Sramkova returned, but then a shot further forward struck from Beatriz Haddad Maia and a winner with it. So Beatriz Haddad Maia having saved break points with potentially a point to maybe hold this service game and maintain the break in the second set. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a wide serve just out. So second serve for Beatriz Haddad Maia on this point. Beatriz with a serve to the centre box, and then forehand slice return from Rebecca Sramkova to the left just out after a bit on the wide serve from Beatriz Haddad Maia. So Beatriz Haddad Maia holds serve to maintain the break in the second set. Rebecca Sramkova just won a point, 15 love. Rebecca Sramkova serving. Rebecca Sramkova with a central serve just out. So second serve for Rebecca Sramkova on this point. Rebecca Sramkova with a central serve just hits the net. So 15-all. Rebecca Sramkova just won a point, so 30-15. Rebecca Sramkova, central serve on it, and then backhand, Beatriz Haddad Maia turn, backhand drop shot survival. Rebecca Sramkova a bit on that, and it's a winner, so 40-15. Backhand winner to the right from Rebecca Sramkova. Rebecca Sramkova a serve out, so second serve for Rebecca Sramkova on this point. Rebecca Sramkova with a Centre-wide turn. Beatriz Haddad Maia then strikes a backhand return to the right. And it's a backhand return with a ace. So 40-30. Rebecca Sramkova with a centre of the box serve just out. So second serve for Rebecca Sramkova on this point. Rebecca Sramkova with a central serve. Beatriz Haddad Maia backhand turn centre. Rebecca Sramkova strikes forehand to left, and Beatriz Haddad Maia turns, and Rebecca Sramkova strikes forehand to the right with a bit on it, and then Beatriz Haddad Maia backhand return to the left. Just hits the holds that service game, but it's Beatriz Haddad Maia with the break in the second set. So Beatriz Haddad Maia serving with a break in the second set. Rebecca Sramkova just won a point, so love 15. Beatriz Haddad Maia serving with a break in the second set. Last point, Beatriz Haddad Maia beforehand, but then Rebecca Sramkova further forward, striking a forehand winner. Love 15. Beatriz Haddad Maia serving with a break in the second set. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a serve, and then Rebecca Sramkova backhand return, then forehand to forehand, and Rebecca Sramkova's forehand to the right is just out, so 15-all. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a serve. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a central serve. Rebecca Sramkova backhand turns right bit on it, then Beatriz Haddad Maia strikes right to the left with a bit on it. Rebecca Sramkova returns, then Beatriz Haddad Maia further forward by the net, strikes a forehand to the right, and it's a winner, so 30-15. So 30-15. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a serve. Wide serve bit on it. Rebecca Sramkova returns a shot to the right, but then Beatriz Haddad Maia strikes a forehand to the right with a bit on it, and it's a winner. And it's 40-15 and 2 match points for Beatriz Haddad Maia. Beatriz Haddad Maia with a Central box serve, and then Rebecca Sramkova from 10 centre minute. Beatriz Haddad Maia finds right. Rebecca Sramkova one to centre. Just out. Game, set, and match. Beatriz Haddad Maia by 2 sets to love. 7-6, 6-4. 2 competitive sets in a match of 2 ball striking players. But Beatriz Haddad Maia maintains the level to win this one by 2 sets to love for Beatriz Haddad Maia and those ultras of Beatriz Haddad Maia with this match as well, as Beatriz Haddad Maia wins this one by 2 sets to love after maintaining a level over the match to win by 2 sets to love after 2 competitive sets of a match of 2 ball striking players. 2 sets to love to Beatriz Haddad Maia in this one. 7-6, 6-4, and Beatriz Haddad Maia wins by 2 sets to love.